to RubyCast Live. I'm your host, RubyMoon, and today we are going to be talking about GamesCom, DCFandome, and the future of conventions. So, of course, right now, there are no conventions happening, and everything is pretty chaotic because nothing's happening. And the question is, will anything change afterwards? And also, we're going to be talking about some of the announcements that were made for GamesCom. But first, let me tweet out that we're live, and then we can get started. We're starting a little bit earlier, so we have more time to talk. Okay. But welcome on in, everyone. So, sorry, my goodness. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about conventions, basically. So let's start with talking about the future. Hang on one second. Alright, sorry about that. But yeah, we're talking about. Let's first start off with talking about conventions and where I think they will end up going. I think for the most part, when the dust settles, everything will be pretty much the same. I don't think there's going to be drastic changes because I believe that people who are so cooped up and so done with everything that the minute the floodgates open back up again, everyone's gonna want to kind of go out again. Not everyone, as in like everyone, but like a majority of people are kind of just like rambunctious and kind of they need the social interactions. And since they haven't been really getting any, they're going to be wanting them even more. But I do think that there's going to be maybe some precautions going in. Maybe people will stick with wearing masks even after COVID settles. I feel like there's going to be probably some people that will still wear masks even after COVID settles. But for the most part, I think conventions are going to be pretty much the same. I have a hard time believing that it will actually change because, I mean, we tend to have a pattern of doing things, and we don't typically like to change. And I think the only thing that really needs to change about conventions is there needs to be better security. Because there's several times where security is not the best at all. And so maybe that will change, but for the most part, I don't think anything will really change. I think, in fact, they just might happen more frequently. Because everyone's going to be craving social satisfaction. I think maybe we'll start out with conventions being mostly domestic, honestly. Because people aren't going to really want to leave their countries and risk having a 2.0, a second wave. So I think people will, for the most part, actually stick with what's in their country. I mean, most people do that anyways because it's so expensive to go out of the country. But I think just in general, people will probably stick to what they know. I've never gone to a convention, so it's like I'm not going to be going to a convention anytime soon. But, Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I think for the most part, I don't think conventions are changing anytime soon. Perhaps what we'll see is actually an uptick on virtual conventions, because I do think that a lot of them are kind of like going around, and honestly some people are thinking that it's better this way because you don't have to worry about travel fare, you don't have to worry about the cost, all you have to worry about is being there. And I think that is a strong contender to keep things virtual. But I don't think that they're all going to go virtual. I think for the most part, what we're going to see is that some will stick to a virtual platform, but others can't really do that because they're not really designed for it. I mean, some of them have shown that they can do this virtually, like DCFandome or Comic-Con. Like, I feel like Comic-Con, yeah, technically speaking, they could do it all virtually. However, you're going to be missing some of the fun of going there physically because not everyone, like, there's like a different vibe from in person than there is virtually. Like, the whole point of conventions is usually you are not only getting all this information about whatever you're dealing with, but you're also getting to know new people that you might not have known. And it's harder to do that virtually, although sometimes it might be easier. I mean, people have a easier time talking virtually than they do in person a lot of the time. But overall, like, it's gonna be harder to really get to know anyone. So I feel like even though like the main parts can actually go like virtually, like having like the trailers and like the promos and the sneak peeks and even the panels, like I think those are still going to be in person, because the whole point of a convention is that you have the live experience, like going to a concert. Like, you wouldn't just like, there's a difference between going to a concert live than there is seeing one through a screen, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like, there's a difference between going to a baseball game versus watching it through your TV. Sometimes people prefer it through the TV. A lot of people prefer it in person. So I think that for the most part, it's going to stay the same. I don't think that it's really going to have like this drastic change where suddenly everything is like virtual. Like, I think that once the dust settles and everything opens up again, people are going to go back to doing what they used to do. And I don't think that that's a problem. I think, well, in order to prevent something like this happening again, I suppose that having precautions, and maybe at conventions, would be a benefit. But, I mean, again, like, even if you wear masks and you practice social distancing, you're still going to have, like, diseases spreading. Because some are just simply more longer lasting. Like, there's only so much that masks can actually protect you from. And it's not even protecting you from it, it's protecting everyone else from it. So, it's not going to be as simple. I mean, you could say that, oh, when you're in a public space, you should probably wear a mask. But once the dust settles, most people aren't going to do that. And you know that most people won't do that because people aren't doing it already. And they're definitely not going to do it if it's not required. So, I mean, I think that pretty much conventions are going to be just the same. Like, I don't really see anything drastically changing, other than that there might be a few more virtual ones. Because people are realizing that that's kind of a better solution because more people can participate. Like, they don't have to worry about travel fares or anything like that. So, ultimately, it is better if it is virtually. What other conventions are finding is that people, like, games, like, E3 is a big thing. And it's a big thing for a reason. And I think it's been proven that, for the most part, it needs to maintain. We need E3. Why do we need E3? Because people need to know when to expect news. Even if there's leaks for E3, we still know about the time when we are expecting trailers to drop. This time of year, I had no clue when to expect trailers to drop because, like, there was no official event that was like, oh yeah, this is definitely going to get me like 1 billion trailers. Like, I had no idea. No clue. And when you see things like GamesCom and DCFandome, you see, oh, yeah, people really need that organization to understand when to expect things to come. So yes, technically speaking, a lot of game companies could release trailers on their own, but it's harder to pinpoint and often harder to find because you would have to be expecting that company to drop something. Otherwise, no one's really going to know. Because if they just release it on to their YouTube channels, not everyone is subscribed to, EA or Bethesda or, Riot. Like, not everyone is subscribed to all of the game companies. So even if the trailers drop, it's a little bit harder to keep control of, or keep, technically they could just release like an article about it and it promotes it and then people like share it around, but it's not always guaranteed and sometimes it goes under the rug. And overall, I think it's better when people are looking for it already. Like, if people already know that it's in existence, they're going to be expecting something to happen. Like, if they know that E3 is happening, they're going to expect, oh, okay, there's going to be like 20 trailers that it's going to drop. Let me see what's happening over here. And I think that's exactly what we saw with GamesCom and DCFandome, is that we knew we were expecting trailers, and so we watched them. Now, the question is, does that mean that E3 has to be in person? Or could E3 very much be virtual and we just expect trailers to drop during that, like, whole week? Because, I mean, there's two sides to it, because E3 is actually more than just the, like, announcements. Like, there's usually actual physical, like, activities that you can do, and there's a little bit more. Like, you can demo you can often play early access demos. You can like talk to someone like the developers sometimes. Like, there's usually like booths that you can go to and you can like engage with, get more information, exclusive information that you don't really see like online. And there's like different events, and also there's also the difference between seeing it live and seeing it, you know, not live. Like, if they're doing like some sort of performance, like they often do, then you might want to be able to see that live. So it's not entirely capable of going fully online, especially because there's also this thing, because there's a reason why sports events and concerts that are happening without an audience still has a crowd cheer. Why? Because it's weird when you don't have one. Because when you see an audience's reaction, you tend to also happen to feel that way. Like, it convinces you that, oh, well, if other people are liking this thing, maybe it's not such a bad thing. And it doesn't always work, but it works enough to where you might be buying a game just because everybody else likes it. Or you might be thinking, oh, this is a really good movie because everyone was cheering about it. Like, it could be like the worst movie ever, and if everyone is enjoying it, that might influence how you perceive the movie. Like, if everyone's laughing at the movie, you might say, oh, well, that was a funny movie. Even if you didn't get the joke. Like, there are certain things that mentally, like, it actually works. And there's a reason why companies do certain things. There's a reason why there's fake cheering at the sports events. Because you kind of need that to, like, be able to, like, hype yourself up. Like, cheering really does help a lot of people. Not everyone. Some people get really annoyed when people cheer for them. I used to be that way, but not anymore. But it really depends. And when you're so used to having cheering people around you, and then suddenly you don't have them, it can really psych you out. It's like, yeah, I know that people can't come, but it's like, maybe they wouldn't have. And you kind of get into your own head about it. It's like, oh, maybe... It's like, I mean, if you're a team like the Astros. No, I'd say if you're a team like the Diamondbacks, you're probably used to not having people cheering for you. So it doesn't really make a difference. But if you're a team like, I don't know, the Red Sox or the Yankees, then you're probably used to people cheering for you. And so, like, when it doesn't happen, it's weird. Or like, you know, if you're the team like the Cleveland Browns, like you're gonna be used to people not cheering for you. But if you're a team like the Patriots or like the Rams or the Giants, like you're going, it's going to be weird when no one's cheering for you. But it does have everything to do with psychology. It has everything to do with psychology. There's a reason why there's the fake cheering. Not only because they're trying to have fun with it and not have it be this like dull thing where like no one's like this kind of like awkward thing. Now, do they really need to put it in the live concerts? Probably not. Because honestly, it actually takes away from the performance because you're drowning them out with like cheers and everything. But at the same time, it's just having fun with it. Like, it's not so much to be there for the singer, although it can be. It can be. You know, maybe Lady Gaga actually needs to have like some sort of person like cheering for her in order to have a better performance. And who knows? But for the most part, it's just to have fun. Like that's pretty much why like everyone's doing this is because they're just trying to make light of the situation. Like, I mean, the sports events like baseball, they have you, like, you can buy tickets, like, I think, like, at a much cheaper price and have your face in the front rows behind the cameras. Like, they literally just, like, have, like, cardboard cutouts of everyone. It's funny. But, like, I think it goes that, like, these like events, like, yes, they could be virtual, but they wouldn't necessarily be as fun or as well received. And there's especially a reason why E3 has been a thing for so long and why companies in general don't usually stray away from E3. They understand that one, E3 is a big event. And when you have like an important announcement to make, you want to use those big events because even though you probably could reach just as many people, especially if you're a company like EA or, you know, Disney or, you know, Bethesda, you could probably reach an audience. But the thing is, it gets you that potential to reach more. Because since people are already watching trailers and everything, like, it's a better chance that people will want to watch yours as well. Because they just want to know all the information. They just want to know all of it. Like, if they're looking for, I don't know, the latest God of War trailer, and they see this like article that lists a bunch of trailers, they might just actually watch all of them. Especially since, I mean, they're literally here to look for games to look forward to. So it's not so far-fetched that if they watch one game trailer, they might watch more. It's like, that's why conventions are so successful and so important, is because it organizes everyone and gets everyone watching. Like, yes, technically speaking, EA could release all of its trailers and it wouldn't make a difference because nobody cares about them. I mean, I mean, it would make a difference. It would. Because yes, EA has a big outreach, but most people don't give a damn about them unless they're in a convention. They're like, oh, well, I need something to watch. That's why EA is always first as well, is because they understand that when people are craving something to watch, they're going to want to watch it as soon as possible. So they want to get EA out of the way so that they can, like, they go first because they understand that if they went last, nobody would watch because nobody would care anymore. They go first because they understand that, oh, people are going to be craving something to watch, so let's give them entertainment. And most people will just be like, okay, let's just watch this and, like, get ready for the real show. And honestly, that's oftentimes how the order goes. Like, it literally goes the people that people aren't necessarily overhyped for, but will watch anyways because they know other things are coming up. Like, they kind of like organize it like that. Like, it's kind of like actually like a TV show, whereas like they'll air the popular show in between the unpopular shows, because they understand that, okay, if people are going to watch this show live, then maybe there's a chance that they'll actually watch this one too if we organize it in a way that where they would. That doesn't always work, especially now that everyone records everything and it doesn't matter, but it is effective. And there's a reason why they do that. There's a reason why, EA goes first, then there's Microsoft, then there's probably like Bethesda and maybe PC Gaming, and then Devolver, and then Sony, and then, I don't know, Ubisoft, and then Nintendo. Because, like, they understand, like, what everyone is kind of looking for. It also has have to do with the time zones. Like, they're not gonna make Bethesda like stay awake for like. I mean, it depends. It also depends if they're there or not. Because like if they're not there, it really doesn't make a difference. If they have like a direct, that doesn't make a difference. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, yes, E3 could vary. Like, it's been a whole discussion about whether E3 should just be virtual or not. Like, whether or not, like, E3 is even needed. Like, will E3 last? And I think, yes. Yes, it will. Because I think if anything has been proven, it's that people need organization. People need to know when to expect things. And even though E3 itself is not necessarily needed, it's still like we need to know, again, when to expect things. Like, we always expect, okay, everything's going to be dropping in June. Like, every trailer that ever could will be dropping in June or around that time. And so, like, everybody knows that, like, oh, we should expect things this, like, we should expect a bunch of trailers this time. And so they're already looking for them. And so that even though, like, E3 itself might not be needed, it's the hype around it that is needed. So, yeah. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about when it comes to the future of conventions, is that I don't think they're going anywhere. Because I think if anything has been proven during these like weeks, these months of quarantine, is that we need these social interactions. Like, we need these conventions. Like, we're gonna go crazy without them. Like, people are already going crazy without them. It's just really, really needed. And so let's transition over to, I don't know, let's talk about GamesCom. Let's see what actually dropped during GamesCom. So it went from August 27th to August 30th. I didn't actually watch the thing. I did have time. But we can look at what was announced, and maybe we can talk about some things. One moment, though. Okay. Let's see. So let's look at the biggest game announcements, trailers, and gameplay. So Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was confirmed, which honestly, I'm down for, kind of. I mean, I'm not so excited that it's a Sony product because I don't like Sony, but I remember playing Ratchet and Clank, and I'm kind of hoping that it's not exclusive. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's for the PlayStation 5, so maybe it will be exclusive. Apparently, Dragon Age 4 was teased. I still need to get through Dragon Age 1, 2, and 3, though. Let's see, what else? There's Sea of Thieves. Here, actually, you know what? Maybe we can do it this way. Oh, wait, I can't do it that way because I forgot that I need to do it a certain way. Oh, well. It's fine. You guys don't need to see it. Well, actually, maybe I can do a Windows captured. Okay. So you guys can at least see what I'm talking about. Sort of. Okay. Let's continue. So Sea of Thieves adds dog companions and a new permanent voyage. I haven't played Sea of Thieves in a while. Maybe I'll get back into that when we go back to gaming. World of Warcraft. Honestly, don't care. I don't care about WoW. I'm sure some people do. Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. I really don't care about because I don't care about the Skywalker Saga. Yeah, I don't really care about it. I really don't care. I mean, I like Lego Star Wars, but let's see. There's also free-to-play action RPG Genshin Impact arrives on PS4, PC, and mobile. Takes inspiration from Legend of Zelda. Summoner's War is a thing. Arena getting crossover. Street Fighter crossover. Don't care. Co-op adventure RPG Haven will be a launch title for Xbox Series X. That's cool. I don't really care about those games though. I mean, maybe. Who knows? Anything can change. Drake Hollow, the village building action game, is now available. Okay. Ace Combat 7 is a thing, apparently. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was... Oh. I am 20.
Strap in, folks. This game's for all the marbles.
He's on a breakaway! A shot for the win! Yes! The fans are rushing the field! And the new heavyweight champion of the world!
1943. Detailed information from the Manhattan
Yeah, okay, I don't care. It's Cold War. Never mind. I don't care. Fall Guys Season 2 is a thing. Fall Guys is a big thing right now. I haven't been interested in playing it yet, though. Not really. I don't think it's really my kind of game, to be honest. Oh yeah, I think we heard about the Dungeons and Dragons inspired RPG, but I don't know if this is the one that was or if this is different. I assume that it's the same thing that was announced when I think it was the Video Game Awards that announced it. I could be wrong. Yeah, Sims 4 Journey Back 2 is a Star Wars expansion inspired by Galaxy's Edge. And that is certainly well received. No, it's not. I guess Humble Bundle, they released a sizzle reel and a bunch of indie games. Egypt's city building game. Is that like Civ? It sounds like Civ, but I don't know.
Strap in, folks. This game.
Oh my god, I don't care. It's not worth it. Origami is a thing. I didn't know there was a first one, to be honest. Save the post office as an adorable Kiwi bird duo in Kiwi. Huh? What? Unknown 9. No idea what that is. Was a mysterious new IP revealed on One Night Live. Okay. Werewolf the Apocalypse Earth Blood trailer revealed. Okay, I don't care. 8-Bit Adventure 2. Fist Forged in Shadow Torch gets a new trailer. No idea what that is. Star Wars Squadrons got a thing for it. Don't care, to be honest. And Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2? Huh? Wait, that's a thing? Do people even know who Tony Hawk is anymore? Maybe this is him. Maybe this is his comeback. The Outer Worlds gets the DLC. Okay. Crash Bandicoot. I'm excited for, but I assume it's gonna be Sony exclusive, so I guess not. Wonder Boy is a thing. Okay. Borderlands 3 DLC. Okay. I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, it's cool. I haven't really played the Borderlands games. I actually only played Borderlands Telltale. I didn't really get into it too much. WWE 2K Battleground Fatal 4-Way with Austin Creed Let's Play. Okay. Scarlet Nexus first look. Yeah, nothing like this interests me. The Ancient Gods. Doom Eternal. I guess that's cool. Little Nightmare 2. I didn't know there was a Little Nightmare 1. Destiny 2 Beyond Light's new element stasis shown. Okay. Medal of Honor, I did hear about this. It's like the new like Until Dawn story, I think. Or maybe No, I think I'm thinking of something else. Never mind. Just kidding. Ghost Runner. Oh yeah, that was the one that was announced, I think, in the Video Game Awards. Last Spell? Tactical RPG? Okay, yeah, so I don't care. I thought there was more, though. Maybe not. It probably doesn't I mean, this does say, like, the best of the best, so maybe not. But anyways, yeah, there are a lot of announcements that happened during GamesCom. Some exciting some disappointing things. It's okay. But at least we had something. I mean, even if there wasn't like a whole lot being announced, like at least we had something like that. I think is what's important. Like, of course, some of like the biggest things that were probably going to be announced this year are not going to be announced this year because they were looking for E3. And I think that I mean, I don't know. Technically, this year, I don't know if people remember, but this year is actually supposed to be a new gen console year. But who knows if that will stand? Maybe they'll wait a year? I don't know. I mean, I guess they have contracts with people, so I guess they can't wait. So who knows, you know? Because a lot of like the stuff that's been speculated for the new gen is not announced yet. So who knows? You know, I mean, we still have like half a year left. Well, more like a third of the year left. So who knows? Maybe things will change. DCFandome announced a lot of great things happening. We're getting a Gotham Knights, which is not correlated with Arkham Knights. However, they might be using the same sort of setup from the ending, but they're doing it their own way. So it's not really attached to the Arkham verse, but it might be similar because they're doing the storyline, the infamous storyline, but one of the infamous storylines. But I can't really say much without giving spoilers, so I won't. But basically, you're going to be able to play as Robin, Tim Drake, Nightwing, Batgirl, and Red Hood, which is interesting. And then Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Pretty self-explanatory. You're killing the Justice League. And it actually looks cool. That's from Rocksteady. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's coming. Like the Batman movie, and Wonder Woman in 1984, and everything. But for the most part, that is it, I think, today. There's not really much else to talk about. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Hope to see you guys in the future. And peace out, guys. It's been a blast.